Good morning, this is David Plazas, Community Conversation Editor of the News Press. It's June 15th, 2012, and we have the privilege of having with us Chauncey Solinger, who is running for Florida House District 76. And editorial board members, would you please introduce yourselves for the record?
Pam Grotehouse, citizen member from Bonita Springs.
I'm Luis Encinares from South Fort Myers.
Okay. Dick Kalfas, Cape Coral.
And thank you so much for coming. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us why are you running for this position?
Absolutely. First of all, I used to work when I was 15 for News Press and delivered the newspaper, so this is the first time I've ever been inside, and it's nice. Walking into the front door, as soon as you walk in, there's the obituary sign, and they're like, "Can I help you?" And not yet. Let's see how this interview goes first. I might come back and report my political career, check on the door. But my name's Chauncey Solinger. I'm running for State Representative District 76. Quickly, I'll just go over because the redistricting. It's Bonita, Estero, San Carlos, Island Park, everything south of Gladiolus and Iona, Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, Captiva Island, Boca Grande, Pine Island, and Mount Lachey. I am running due to my experiences in life and in small business here in Lee County. I'm very privileged to have, I've been helped by the community and by my business experiences, and I believe that we need a small business person to give back to this community. And quickly, one of the things that differentiates me from just one of the things is that I'm born and raised here in Lee County, so if any of the other candidates that are new to the area would like a tour, I'd love to give a tour. But I am, first of all, I was born in an economically, underprivileged area in Ortez Avenue over there, and one of the things I have in my life growing up was my grandfather, and I want to talk about him briefly just because he had such a lot in my life. He's a rock in my life. He helped start the Tice Fire Department after he got out of the World War II, moved here, and owned a number of businesses, and was one of the first fire commissioners there as well. And I learned three things from him that have resonated. First is, if you work, it'll pay off, and I've done just that. Second is, be a man of your word. And lastly is, not what you take from your community, but what you give back. And I've taken those things to my business experience as well. Growing up in high school, I was privileged to have good friends, and I moved from couch to couch. I didn't really have anywhere else to go for some time, and our local minister from our church youth group invited me to stay with them, and I was eventually adopted. They helped me get through high school and through college, and I was able to, through their grace and believing in me, was able to prosper. And these are some of the things I love about this community, is we have people like this that are willing to help underprivileged kids and do these kind of things that have, they don't have to do these kind of things, and they help me so much, and I'm here because of that. I want to give back because I was given so many opportunities. I was able to start a business because of their grace and their funding to me to buy a car. I ended up buying scooters with that and starting a business. And so I learned a lot from my experiences growing up and why people gave back to me and why I was so successful because of community. After I graduated college, I started not one but three businesses, one at a time. I worked day and night and was one of the youngest vehicle franchise dealers in the area at the time. The law changed. I started a motorcycle licensing business as well, and I have about 40 to 50% of the market on that. And since then, I've started a temporary tag program with the state in which I offer temporary registration to dealers. So if you buy a car from a dealer, you either get the temporary tag or they transfer your plate to that vehicle. And it's a program that I'm very proud, and I worked very hard to get started. And these are some of the things that my experiences in the small business industry, I understand where a lot of small businesses and the problems they're facing are coming from, because I've been there. I've been a Florida ground troop, a Lee County ground troop in the business world, and I know what it's like to be a resident here because I've been a lifelong resident, aside from the fact from university. I own property here, and I'm proud to have bought my first property in Lee County, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to buy many more. I have a three-point plan, and I believe all my plan, just like in business, is they have to be achievable. It can't just be something that's way out of the scope. So first thing I wanted to do is, let's make businesses and employees, let's make it easier and more affordable to hire businesses in Florida. And it's right on my card I gave you. The second is streamline government to its citizens and its residents. And the lastly is, let's be an advocate for our residents' success and happiness through government. And the way to do that, first of all, is in small business, you see that there's a lot of overlapping regulations. A lot of the other congressmen that have already been up in the State House have talked about this. Is you know, I started a business and it took 4 months. And when it's easier to get on unemployment and start a business, then we really have to rethink some things up at the state level to make it easier for businesses to start. And another thing is streamlining government. What I mean by that is we're in the 21st century. We have an iPad here filming us. There should be no reason whatsoever in this day and age. It's affordable. It doesn't cost much. We should just try it. Let's email all our citizens what's going on at the state level, what bills are being passed, and let's put it in terms that anyone can understand so they can make an educated decision and inform me, hey, we don't like this or we like this. So the citizens can be more engaged. And no one else is proposing that. And I believe this is something that we can achieve within the first 6 months of my election. Lastly, is let's be an advocate for our citizens' happiness and success. We can do this by, first of all, government working with businesses and its community. And what I mean by this is, instead of someone coming and regulating a business, hey, we're regulating because of this, and you have concerns about it, how can we make your life easier so you can hire more employees and get more residents off of unemployment? Another thing I'd like to do is, if we already have unemployment, we should require anyone that's on unemployment to fill out a resume and put it in one centralized database, so anyone in Lee County at least is hiring somebody, they can find out who's the most qualified and help get off unemployment. So those are a few things that I would like to propose, and I believe they're all achievable within the first year of my election. And as soon as I am elected, I will work very hard on achieving these 3 goals.
What are your attitudes toward the politics of legislating? Because there's one thing to go up to Tallahassee with a plan, but there's another thing to deal with the leadership. You have term limits, you've got certain committee assignments, and there's the whole notion of back and forth sausage making, shall we say,
Sure.
in Tallahassee. Tell us a little bit about your attitudes, because certainly as a successful business person, what we hear a lot from business people is that they like to get things done, they can make decisions, and it's a whole different ballgame there in Tallahassee.
Well, when you get to Tallahassee, one of the things that legislators often do is they determine their success and merit as a legislator as how many bills they can pass. Well, I don't really think it's necessary for every legislator to go up there and pass bills. In fact, I think we probably need to repeal some. So when I go up there, I have my plan that I can do in the community as an advocate for our success, that we can we can do this without having to go through some of the bill processes. And that's the difference between me and some of the other candidates. Just because our only job is to balance the budget doesn't mean that's our only job in the community. We are the state representative for our community, and we need someone that has the motivation, energy, and the know-how to get our voice heard up at the state, and I believe I can do that.
But if if ordered, I think it's sort of conventional wisdom, and I think I've heard some other candidates acknowledge this, that in order to get something done in Tallahassee, whatever political affiliation you may be of, you can't buck the leadership. There's an agenda, and the discipline is expected, particularly within party ranks. How would you accomplish what you want to accomplish in the light of the existing structure?
Okay. Well, the existing structure up there, obviously, we have a lot of, the 8 years that you're allowed to spend up in their term, and, a lot of the other congressmen have talked about, the first year you're not doing much. This is what I can do in my first year without having to go rub elbows with, other politicians up there. This is something I can do for my community right away. And when I get up there, obviously there's some things that I want to accomplish as far as repealing or adding to, policies. These are some things that I'm not going to know there's not like a clear-cut plan, but there's a lot of help, and especially since I'm going to ask my community to help me and talk to the community. Hey, what do you guys need? If there's a bill you want to pass, let's do this as a community. It's not me. I'm representing Lee County District 76. It's what they want. And so if they want something at the state level, I'm going to ensure that at least I get their voice heard the loudest. Whether whether there's a lot of politics going on up there, I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't, as soon as I get up there, I'll let you know.